Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome in today for episode 67 of the Pod Ones podcast. I'm your host, Char J, joined by my co-host, Luke.
What's going on, everybody?
And Hereth Productions.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hope everyone's having a great day so far. Today, we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 11 of Star Wars Rebels, also known as Idiot's Array. We're going to be seeing Lando. We're going to be seeing him working together with the Ghost Crew, them getting into trouble with a bunch of mob bosses, and we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna dive in. And we got one guest, so Luke.
The Jedi Knights are all but destroyed, and yet your task is not complete, Inquisitor. The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
And we are back. Okay.
Sorry, Char. That was a little trigger happy.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I wanted to describe what we're doing. Okay.
No, you're fine.
All right.
Sorry.
So our first and only guest today is a longtime supporter, guest, and watcher of our show. He's going to be running. Actually, he's going to be running a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Real quick off the top of the bat. December 3rd. Everybody put that on your calendars. December 3rd, 12 o'clock Central Time. You figure out the time Eastern in
Well,
Coastal.
I mean,
I don't
something
care.
small happened this week. I don't know. Like, it was just a small milestone. we hit
We
a
hit
1,000
subs.
You know, it's just
Yeah,
tiny.
yeah.
Nothing really happened.
Yes. So as of Tuesday morning, we did indeed reach one of our big milestones, which was 1,000 subscribers, which I thank all of you. I can't believe it that it came this fast. I
No.
remember Luke saying that he was projecting we were going to get to 1,000 by the end of this year.
I was calling him
But-
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and when Luke asked me to become his co-host on here, we only had 30 subs.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster,
Yeah,
and then a
30
year
subs.
later we're here.
It's been a long journey. It is usually premature.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pep. December 3rd, we are going to have our 12-hour stream. We've got a D&D campaign planned that will be about 4 hours. We will be doing a watch along of a movie, and we'll be just having fun with friends and guests that have been on before. So be on the lookout for that. So December 3rd, be ready. It's gonna be fun.
I
But
think
with
it's
that out
going
of
to
the
have
way.
a lot of clippable moments, like a lot of our other streams.
Oh yes. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like char boiling water. Sorry, I had to do it.
Oh,
enough.
yes.
Enough.
No, it's not enough. It's never enough. All right, Char. Go ahead
All right,
and
so
introduce Pat.
Let's bring in our first and only guest for today's show, St. Pat, Separatist Rebel.
Hello, people.
Hi, Pat. Hey,
Hey,
this time I
Pat.
actually got your name right.
Yeah,
'cause
I
the
know,
past
I-
few times you've came on, I've completely botched your name because I never knew that you changed it because it was always Separatist Boy.
So,
But now it's
Yeah.
Separatist Rebel, but I got it. So
so it's not like I've told you every time I've changed it for the last couple months.
Pat.
Hi,
Real
Luke.
quick. Did you see the Clone Troopers?
I
We
did.
finally got Clone Troopers.
I know. I
It's
loved
pretty cool, right?
I loved it so much. It was so great. It's sad that they had to show up for that scene,
Yeah.
but it was great seeing them and just seeing how things have changed by
No,
that
yeah.
time.
Absolutely. Jar.
Yes.
Want to go to the chat?
yes, let's go to the chat and see what is going on here. We have Cat Jet saying hello. How you doing? Finding Halcyon, another returning viewer. Hey everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. I mean, I appreciate all of you guys coming in here as we are going to be kicking off our Star Wars Rebels rewatch discussion about season 1, episode 11, Idiot's Array, and a lot of talk about Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian is one of my favorite characters. I'm pretty sure it's one of your favorite
Everybody
characters as
in the chat, minus Pep. What is Lando Calrissian's full name?
well. Oh, I know.
Shut up. Shut
I
up.
know.
Shut up. You're not. You're not allowed.
Let me give you a hint.
Did you put 3 because 3 interesting facts?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Is it a part of the
Um,
interesting facts?
Is it part of the interesting facts?
No. It's actually
That would have been hilarious.
it's
Actually,
part of his name. I mean, it's funny that me
yeah.
holding up the number 3 is, but it
Yeah.
has no relevance.
Yeah. But yeah. And then we got Kenny. Thanks for always being here, guys. And then
Kenny's
we got
always here. I
Twitch.
love.
We got Twitch people. Look at that. Bellman's back again.
We'll give you guys
Because you
till-
know the answer. That's why, Pep.
We'll give you guys 1 minute. So
No,
when it
we'll
hits
give 'em- we'll give 'em
7:36,
to-
8:36.
We'll give them to the end of.
Elena's got it, I
All
think.
right, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Oh no,
Pep.
actually no. She wrote Landois.
What?
It's
what
Landonis.
Same
oh,
difference.
It's Landonis Balthazar Calrissian III.
Yeah. So there we
That's
go.
that. So that was what that hint was about. It was this.
Okay.
It was not.
gotcha.
It was not anything related to Hunger Games. It was just me doing this. Okay. Okay.
Can't really
Anyways,
whistle.
let's dive into the Rebels discussion.
All right. Pat, as we do every episode now, explain this episode in less than or at the minimum of 2 sentences.
Alrighty, here it goes. Gen Xer bets millennial's wife's pet in gambling tournament. The gambler then turns it and goes and flirts with the millennial's wife.
Interesting. Yeah, that was good. Hereth.
Sleazeball scam artist tries to bet everything on their pet dog and it fails horribly.
Okay. Char.
Zeb and Kanan felt risky. They thought they were gonna win big, came up short, end up working with the guy, and then a whole lot of stuff just went downhill.
I'm pretty sure that was like 4 sentences, but
That's
we'll give you that.
illegal.
That was like 1.5. I had no really.
Did you
no
put
periods at the end
commas?
of them. Yeah, a lot of commas. That's like 3 commas at least, maybe 4.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Risky.
Yeah.
I should... No, I mean,
Can-
hey, I mean.
I mean, it's Lando. Things always get
Yeah,
risky.
exactly.
Kanan and Zeb bet it all, lose it all, have to face Hera, and Hera gets taken to I can't remember the actor's name who plays as Morgan.
Wait.
He played in
remember his
Star
name.
Trek. He's in Star Trek, right?
Well, I'm not a Star Trek guy, so I couldn't. help
Neither
you
am I. That's why I'm saying it to Pat. Pat, he's in Star Trek, isn't he?
You're talking about the guy who plays Sulu?
Yeah, the guy who voices as Morgan.
Yeah, he plays
I'm-
Sulu, and his name is George Takei.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
Kenny in the chat posted his 2-sentence. to
Lando
sum up
is
the
a
show. Lando is a
goat,
goat and
finds
finds
a
a pig. And you
pig.
find 2 pigs and learn sabak.
That's a good one.
That sums it up really. Okay, let's see what this one is. So we have Joe, Ven Skywalker. Side plot. Millennial is an unknown competition for Sabine against Gen Zer.
I was gonna say, didn't Elena
he-
ban the word Gen Z?
No, but like that's the thing about Lando. Lando has like so much swagger and charisma. It's so hard to just like not,
Yeah.
you like it's like you want to talk to him. It's like you want to
Yeah.
be like associated with him. Because
Yeah,
when he's like
agreed.
admiring Sabine's art and actually knows what it's based on. And Ezra's just like, hey, I knew that. And then Sabine's like,
Yeah,
because you didn't know where it
know where it
came
came
from. I'm
from.
like, the
Yeah.
sass.
Yeah, no doubt. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode with my segment, the story. All right, my turn. Or I start off. So, sorry, I just read a tweet from Chris because he was talking about the Vader thing. Vader being an Andor. He goes, "It's me, guys. I'm Vader in Andor." Gotta love it. If Lando was a teacher, he'd be the. Yeah, I agree. if Lando was a teacher, he'd be the business teacher who teaches the public speaking. Oh, who teaches the public speaking elective? God
Oh,
dang
yeah.
it, my body is failing
He's,
me.
he's also the teacher that everyone would fantasize over.
He'd be the most interesting college professor ever.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But we are
He's like,
talking.
hello, what have we here? No homework? 0.
Is your assignment submitted late? I know expected on time.
I like
Oh,
the way
man.
you write.
This
Oh,
is the third.
man.
This is the third time you forgot to turn in your test. This deal is getting worse every time.
Oh man. Oh, the teacher puns.
The grades are
with
getting worse
Lando.
every time.
Oh my god. So basically this episode is the crew meeting Lando. Lando is on Lothal to mine. I can't remember what it was. It's not. Is it gas? It is gas, right?
For what? What are you talking about?
Lando. Like why Lando is on Lothal. He's trying to get a crew together to get the puffer pig.
Big.
No, Lando doesn't give. Yeah, that's true too. But they run into Lando. Lando beats Zeb at Zabak just like he did in Solo with Han. He's pretty good at Sabak. I wouldn't play anybody, especially.
Oh
human
no!
Sabak.
If you ever went up against Lando at a poker table, you're losing 10 times out of 10.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you're losing 10 times.
He's
out of
one.
10.
He's a good gambler, but he's also very good at cheating.
Oh yeah,
And we
absolutely.
see this in Solo. He's very discreet on his tricks.
If
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to ever play against Lando, I'm changing the game to horseshoes.
Hey, there you go. That's not bad. But I mean, in the beginning of the episode, Zeb bets Chopper. He loses. But Kanan ends up getting a job from Lando. Hera finds out that they bet Chopper. She's upset, rightfully so. And we pretty much Lando's just like, all right, you can get him back if you do this job well. They go. He ends up part of the plan that he tells everybody is it's part of the plan. He gives as Morgan, who he owes money to, Hera. They leave. She ends up being like following the plan, but not really following the plan. She just mad libs, and she escapes, gets back onto the Ghost, where we have the puffer pig. Pretty much, they go back to Lothal. The Empire ends up chasing them. They escape. They meet up with Az Morgan again. He threatens them. The Ghost crew outnumbers him, and I am so confused. Broken avatars.
Oh, because Char's circle when he dips.
Oh, when you turn your camera
on.
Here, I just saw it.
I
just saw it on YouTube side. Yeah, if you turn your camera off for whatever reason, it just shows broken avatars.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Well, anyway, and Lando gets his pig, and the Ghost crew gets fuel tank, and they get Chopper back. That's basically the long and the short of this story. But the question I have is, throughout this episode, the Ghost crew is having to adjust to Lando's plans and basically try to work together even where there isn't a plan in stone, because that's a lot of Lando's thing. It's like he ad libs a lot. How do you think this helped the Ghost crew in later seasons?
Well, later on in later seasons, they're always going by the seat of their pants, as Thrawn and all the other Imperials are like really gunning down their throats and stuff. And so a lot of their plans, especially when Rex comes into the mix and stuff, is just on the fly. And so he gave him that like first little ad lib experience that they'll, especially Ezra, will like get really good at.
No, yeah. Char, your thoughts?
I'm sorry. What was the question again? I couldn't hear. I was cutting out.
Basically, Lando is ad libbing. How does that help the Ghost crew later on?
Well, I mean, because they weren't sure about what Lando's intentions were. Because
Yep.
Hera was suspicious, Kanan was suspicious, Zeb was like, okay, this guy's already a little bit of a con artist, but I mean, he's our type. But they had no idea that they were going to help him because, first of all, Lando gets Chopper, and then later on, Lando gives up Hera to as Morgan. So we were like, wait, what's happening? But
Yeah.
but Lando's like, oh, this is a part of the plan. But Hera obviously didn't know it. Like she was just going along with it. But
Mhm.
I think that Lando's wit and his ability to handle situations, despite how unlikely they're going to go his way, it's just remarkable. And I mean, with the Ghost Crew, I mean, anything can happen. We all know how well they work together, and I love that scene where Hera's talking about like how, to Lando, like how our team works in sync to get the job done. We're not having you mess up our way of doing jobs and missions. And I was just like, perfect, because I mean, Lando always does something very spontaneous or on the spot.
No, but like I agree, and I also agree with Pat because later on Rex comes into the fold, and he very much is just like he ad-libs a lot because he worked with Skywalker,
Mhm.
and it gives and I feel like with the Lando situation, it gives the Ghost Crew another perspective of, hey, sometimes it's good to not, like, sometimes it's okay to not go by the plan. Because not
Mhm.
everything goes as planned, and that's what I think Lando is what was helping them understand. And I find that really, 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 really interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I love how they went through it too, because when Hera gets taken by as Morgan, because Lando was just like, all right, yeah, we'll do this, and then right when they talk to Zeb, right when he talks to Zeb and Kanan, they're like, oh yeah, we'll figure out a way to get her back. Just let's go with the flow. It'll be all right.
Oh yeah, Hereth?
also,
Or
sorry,
no,
go.
Pat. No, Pat, go.
Go, you keep going, Pat.
Oh, I was about to say because I also think it was about a lot of nice teamwork, a lesson for them, not just how to ad-lib, but like how to work together and be in sync when other people are doing other things. Like, because if you look at them throughout the first season, even when Ezra came into the mix, all their chemistry got thrown out of whack until they compensated for Ezra and got used to Ezra. And I think having Lando come in and have him work to split them up, but they're trying to actively work together, is teaching them how to stay in sync with each other, even though there's other people they're working with.
No, yeah. Imagine a buddy cop
That's
dynamic
what I was
between
laughing
Lando
at.
and Anakin. They either be so smooth or the cringiest thing we've ever
Well,
beheld. Yeah.
well, to channel my inner Chris for the moment, he is the same age as Padme.
Oh
Um,
shit, that's
and they're
right.
and so
That's
they could
right.
they could actually have met up at some point if ever possible.
There's a reason
Oh
why
my
Chris wants a
god.
Clone Wars story with Lando because we don't know what he was doing during that era. Yeah, we don't know what he was doing during that era. I don't know why I had a
That
weird burp there.
that would be cool. I think that would be interesting, actually. Like having Anakin Skywalker meet up with this ragtag guy, the smuggler. Like that is so weird because I'm pretty sure in Solo, well, obviously Lando is older than both Luke and then he's the oldest of the group. I mean, besides Chewbacca, but we're not counting that. And like you see Donald Glover, and it's like we know Donald Glover's younger than Alden Ehrenreich. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
to kind of see that is kind of interesting to think that he is older than Han. He witnessed the Clone Wars, and to just see what he was doing would have been cool. Like maybe we see that in the Lando show. Like it starts off and we goes through each era.
I mean, also at the same time, it would be,
If that happens though, if the show happens though,
All right, shut up.
I'm
It
hoping
will.
it does. We haven't heard anything about it.
I mean, it would be like the polar opposite of Thrawn alliances, where Thrawn is so strategic and like precision is so pinpoint accurate that everything needs to go to this point. I mean, you have Anakin who's so chaotic that it's like everything goes. It'd be like the opposite, where it's like Lando has to I think Lando would have to put himself in a situation where he would have to start being that way because Anakin is so crazy that he would just be like, "All right, let's go," and Lando would be like, "What?"
Yeah, Ven
No,
said,
yeah.
imagine a buddy cop dynamic between Lando and Anakin that'll either be so smooth or the cringiest thing we've ever beheld. Yeah, I mean, they're completely different, but they also are. They can work together well, but at the same time, the way that they operate is just very juxtaposed.
Yeah.
Because
So
Lando's like, I'll be witty, I'll do my thing, and then Anakin's just like, all right, let's just get this done.
No,
because
yeah.
like Lando's very fun when he's ad-libbing, and Anakin's very aggressive. And
Mhm.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I can imagine a point like where Lando's trying to like sweet talk some battle droids, and then Anakin just like brings out his lightsaber.
And
No,
it could be like,
yeah.
"Where are they?" Like, and then later it'd be like, hi, how's it going?"
No,
Hello,
yeah.
Skywalker.
So we see a lot of the OT characters: Vader, Tarkin, Lando now, Leia later on, Mon Mothma later on. Do you think that what character would you have liked to have seen in the show from the original trilogy that didn't make it in the 4 seasons?
Cassian.
Well, yeah,
Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
But I know. But you said the original trilogy, so like, let's see. I that's a tough one because Kenobi. I think it would have been kind of cool if Ezra, while on Tatooine, met up with Owen Lars.
Interesting. That would have been interesting. Kenny says Boba Fett. That
one I feel like is interesting because I feel like it could add a different layer and dimension to it. Like I was trying to think of like Han, it would be interesting, but it wouldn't like really
yeah, but
add
then
anything.
I don't think it would have made sense
It would
because
have made sense.
Han didn't. His first exposure to the rebellion was A New Hope.
And hope he would be a smuggler type. It would be
Yeah.
it would
Well,
be
actually, I mean, he was kind of hinted at it at the end of Solo with Enfys Nest.
true.
Oh, I
The rebels
guess that
fell,
is true.
and they meet up with Saw Gerrera at the end in the solo novelization, and they give
Yeah,
him the
because
coaxium.
Enfys and Young Jin were close friends.
because they're close to the partisans.
Hmm.
Cloud runners and the partisans are connected.
Interesting. Bellum goes, I don't think anyone else from the OT would work. Everyone else from the OT was inactive at this time period. Which is kind of true. I mean, we do. Oh, yeah, we also see Bale, but technically he's more a prequel because he doesn't make it out of A New Hope, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
remind me
you're
that-
not in the original trilogy effect.
Do not remind me of the From a Certain Point of View story, Luke.
Oh, that a
Oh,
certain point of
no.
view. That a
No.
certain point of view story is rough, to say the least.
Emotional damage.
Oh, but at the end of Lando, Lando states that he didn't pay the rebels because they took the fuel as payment. If Chopper hadn't taken the fuel tank, and let's just say the fuel tank wasn't there at all, do we think that Lando would have paid them at all?
I think he would have given them something.
Yeah.
Because then he'd just be in a situation, and Lando doesn't like being in situations.
No, yeah. I think it's up to interpretation. I mean, he is a swindler. He definitely knows how to, and I mean, with As Morgan, he did say like, you owe me money. Like he's swindled people before, so I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, I said he would give him something. I didn't say he would give them credits.
That's true. That's true. Hereth?
Sorry, what was it again? My mind just went completely spaced out.
Do you think if there wouldn't have been a fuel tank there, do you think Lando would have paid them at all?
Probably not. Come on, let's be honest. This is Lando. I love him to death. I love him to bits, but he wouldn't. He would be like, "All right, peace. I'm out."
Yeah, probably. Most
He'd be
likely.
like, he'd be like me when during the trivia tournament when I was about to get arrested.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like,
I
"Outta
wish I
here."
had that as a clip so I could play that every day and just.
Why don't you? You can easily clip it.
I should clip it and
We-
just
we-
put it
we-
in,
Just
and just
run
put
it-
it in here, and
Yeah.
then whenever somebody does like if we ever get super chats,
You just see me walk out of
yeah,
the room.
yeah. Yeah, and every single time it's just like a meme of you running, and I just play it.
Like,
That would be hilarious.
You're not
That is
going
by
anywhere.
far. That is by far one of my favorite moments.
with the GTA police officer sound with the
Yes,
sirens in the background, like
yes,
you're
it
going to
was-
jail for the rest of your
It's
life.
alive.
Yeah,
It
so
is
for
great.
context for our viewers who haven't not watched our trivia tournament. So Hereth was one of the people that wrote our questions, and Hereth wrote like a completely absurd question. Like a question that
Yeah.
On me,
probably no one was going to answer.
Because I think we needed like one more question before it was like 10 minutes before the match, and I was like, I couldn't think of anything.
He
and I
asked the
was
question, he was looking for like a 10-digit number.
Yeah, it was the digit
question
number
that
of
we've never heard
the what was
And
the
I believe it was a
code?
Legends question too.
It was the
Yeah.
trash compactor question.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a Legends
traction
question.
It
And,
wasn't.
uh,
Yeah.
And then we asked to Andrew DeMolanta at Celebration. He was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
a trivia master was questioning that question, Hereth.
Yeah.
When you have people like that questioning your questions, ironically enough, like, come on.
Yeah. Oh,
was
you know what we should do? Oh, I'll have to think about this. But that is it from my section. Char, now it's time for yours.
Let's get to the lore.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
Yes, it is. The lore is here. Okay, so today's lore about Idiot's Array, we'll be talking about gambling in Star Wars.
Oh, here we
Okay.
go. Podbones podcast believes that you should gamble responsibly. We are not responsible for any losses.
And legally.
Legally, we are not legally responsible for any losses.
We do find it funny as hell, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of like Aegon Targaryen's bastards fighting in the children's pits.
Okay.
We do not condone children's violence, but we find it hilarious.
All right, away from Westeros and more towards the western regions. Okay. All right, so once again, today's lore is about gambling. The event that kicked off at this episode was Zeb losing Chopper to Lando in a game of sabacc. There are many different ways to gamble in Star Wars, such as betting on pod races in which Watto lost all his money and Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace, Dejarik, which Omega racked in a ton of money in The Bad Batch, and fathier races in The Last Jedi. We also see the Vox Vortex 5000 in Star Wars Resistance, where Hype Phazon wagered Frankie the Blue on racing for money to fuel the Colossus. And we also see the luxurious casino on Canto Bight. So, I want to ask you all, if you could pick one card game or event you would be the best at, what would you play and who would you wager against?
Ooh.
First of all, I want there to be bingo in Star Wars. I want to see a Star Wars bingo.
I'm sure there is, but there's some in-universe name for it. Meet me in Atlantic City. You'll lose credits faster than any game of sabacc.
Wait, why do I headcanon Marva playing a game of bingo in Andor?
Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
She'd be like,
Lord.
like I did I got a bingo. I'm gonna start the rebellion. I got this money.
Oh my God. What in the hell? Oh
But-
Jesus, really?
Yu-Gi-Oh
doesn't
and Ezra.
count.
I mean,
That's
it's not really
gambling,
in
though.
universe, but I mean, people do bet money on card games. I mean, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, people do bet money on them,
I feel like if in
but it's
Star
not like
Wars-
really like a big gambling kind of thing.
I would
but,
say I feel like in Star Wars again.
I'm talking like high stakes.
Yeah, if I had to do high stakes, it would 100% be skill based. It would be like a shooting challenge or like an arena fight, something like that, where it's like, okay, I have a
Oh,
chance
you'd want to
fight
be a
big-
gladiator?
I mean, like it's kind of like Obi-Wan and like the Bounty Hunter arc, where you're just like sharpshooting stuff, but it's paid. And you
Okay.
have to hit the shots, or you have to fight someone, like that kind
All
of stuff. Like,
right.
something that's like skill based,
So-
but you still
So
high stakes.
obstacle courses.
Essentially, yeah.
Corn
Interesting.
mazes.
So
You
going
Cornhusker.
off what Harris was saying, I'm a big fan of Cowboy Shootout thing.
Oh, so you're gonna try to blast at people? You better pick somebody that's not very good on the
That's
draw.
not a card game.
You said any high stakes.
Like
That's
no one bet
fair.
some money on a. I mean, if you're
That's
an
true.
outsider,
No,
sure.
no, I bet
yeah,
they did. Yeah.
that's actually
So
true.
I'm
Like,
I'm a,
well, try to make it like in universe. I mean,
Oh
like, there's
my
like
No, yeah,
some
no,
shootouts in Star Wars,
no,
which has like
so
Cad Bane and
Oh
Boba
my
Fett. but-
god.
I'm a pretty
Jesus.
I'm a pretty good I'm a pretty good shot. So I would think that you would have one of those like cowboy shootout ranges and not like the video game ones, but the ones you see like at Western festivals and stuff like that, like the real
Yeah.
where you go
Okay.
where you go from 6-shooter shotgun rifle that type.
Okay.
I'm
Interesting.
I'm a big fan of those,
So
and
you're playing you're playing gun game in Star
Gun-
Wars,
yes,
like Call of Duty gun game.
basically, and I say go against I go against Jar Jar Binks.
Imagine if it was Cad Bane or like Boba Fett, it would be the worst.
That's why I went with Jar Jar.
Atlantis is fantasy football, but the games are just betting on the battles in Clone Wars. Jesus, that is dark.
Oh, but I feel like they did that though.
Oh, they
Oh,
did.
well, I
On-
mean, they
on
basically
Coruscant?
did. They basically did.
Over under the Republic wins Umbara. Over under they win this
Yeah.
battle.
Over under the death count is below 2,000. Jesus,
I'd
that's
wager.
dark.
I'd want to see a gigantic Harry Potter sized version of Jarek. That would be cool to have the
Oh.
size of the because I mean, funny enough, one of the characters in Jarek is called the Kinton Strider. I mean, no reference to Book of Boba Fett, but like the big one that has like the big hammer.
Oh,
But imagine seeing like a 10-foot tall a hologram of just those characters. That would be crazy.
that's true.
That would be intense.
Um,
I feel like I would bet on pod racing, but I would go against Grand Admiral Thrawn because that would be my best chance of making him look stupid because you can't calculate chance. You can't calculate luck.
Well, if you put the lock in a certain accelerator,
There's
it will
no
go to
there's
the
no
speed.
portrait or piece of
I
art that you can
studied
calculate
I studied
winning
the film
money in
art
gambling.
of pod
Yeah.
racing, and now I know how to
You
beat
can't just
you.
look at a piece of art and then win $1,000 playing slots. Like that's not how it works. Like, you know,
I'll make you
it would be
look
my
like a
only
loser,
opportunity.
Char.
It would be my only opportunity to make Thrawn look stupid because maybe one, I'll sabotage the racer he's going for, or I can just be like, hey, I can just make sure that the bet is more towards my side because I know that he's gonna be like, oh, high risk, high reward. But it's gonna be my way every time.
But Char, you like I made the joke of you play the risk of Thrawn being like, all right, I'm going to study all this pod racing film like Luke does in Kenobi because he's emulating pod racing, so he has to watch it somewhere for the holiday. He's going to study all these races and be like, well, the common theme between all these racers, they did this thing. I'm going to do that thing. Like, you know what's going to happen.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say he's gonna study it. He's gonna be an expert on all the racers months before the race happens.
But that's the thing. See, I would be the guy that would vote Anakin Skywalker because I love underdogs. He, on the other hand, would be like, "Oh, let's go, Rats Tyrell, a veteran who just crashes in a cave."
No, he would go Sebulba like Jabba probably.
Or he would just be Ben Quadraneros, who doesn't even get his engine started. He'd be like, I calculate Ben Quadraneros of the tune system.
But I feel like Ben Quadraneros always has engine troubles, and he just keeps entering it.
yeah.
He would stall, and Thrawn would be like, "Mother of God, I made a mistake."
No.
Eli, let's go back to the academy where everything is nice.
Oh God. I would play Big Deer Hunter, but like a Star Wars version.
Big Deer Hunter? What?
Yeah.
Careful, those
Yeah,
Ewok
I
hunts
would-
back.
And I'd play against Wicket. You know why? That motherfucker can't reach the goddamn screen. So hey, there you go.
But he would jump and claw at you, so I think that's the worst payoff.
No. We're hunting. Like no, just like literally Big Deer Hunter, but like use a Star Wars animal.
So that's just like an unfair advantage.
Hey, you didn't
That's
say
not taking
that had
a
to
risk.
Be
That's
fair.
just bending it to your side
Yeah.
naturally. Not like not planning. That's just natural.
Hey,
Or I mean, he can just grab a step stool and he can just mess you up.
Or
No, well, he's not going to because he's going to try to spear the screen and he's not going to understand. He can't do that.
or
Oh,
Luke.
are you calling because they live in huts that he's primitive, Luke?
No.
Or Luke, you're gonna go to bed after you win, and then you're just gonna hear the drum.
Don't
Yup,
No.
no.
You
You
know,
saw- yup,
no. What I will,
Oh,
hear, what I'll hear is.
Oh,
the lights go out.
For stream,
it's Ewok hunt.
for stream we have to play Ewok,
Ewok
hunt.
hunt.
It
You
has
know
to
what,
happen.
Luke? That's the funny thing because if Wicket gets a step stool and he beats you, I expect your head on a stake right after that because I know that's what Wicket would want. Because you're like, oh hey, I'm gonna big man you, and
Luke,
you
you-
just get
you
messed up because he's an expert with an arrow.
You win that night. Lights go out. It becomes Big Luke Hunter.
That's a good one, Pat. That's a good one. All right, Char.
So we have Vincent. I want to see a poker or sabacc game between Landy and Pelimato. I'd have a flip a coin for who to bet on. Really, Pelimato?
What about
I mean,
what about Maz? I think Maz would be pretty good.
Maz would be good.
Oh,
Pelimato would
Maz.
just be like, all right, Jawas. Let's come up with the best algorithm to see what would be best for me. Or I would let BD or R5 be like, hey, let's calculate the best way to get this hand better than his. Because if I get an Idiot's Array, I mean, which is the best hand in Sabacc, I'm sure Lando's gonna pull something out of his pie hole.
I
that
mean,
he's gonna
I
win
mean,
because he always does.
it would
Oh,
be
yeah.
entertaining if Pelimato won, and then you just see BD do his little happy dance.
Well, you know, Pelly's using her droids to help her count cards.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, probably counting card.
And
Absolutely.
then Cat Jet said I would pod race against anyone except Han Solo. So would you bet on a pod race or would you pod race against him? Because I mean, you could also bet and participate. That's kind of what Anakin did, but he wasn't really a part of the bet. But
No, if
you
it's
know, you can accelerate your own fate or your
if it's a pod
outcome.
race, I'm betting whoever is against Han Solo because on land he's not the best driver.
Well, I
that's
mean,
true.
Han Solo. I mean, this is the history of like how Dengar got his how he got the
Wrapping.
rag on his head because of swoop bike racing against Han Solo. Han
Yeah, is
Solo
that
was a
canon
great
or is that-
racer.
That's canon now, right? That's canon now. I thought that was always a Legends thing.
I don't know, but this is like
Ooh.
Ooh.
let me look it up. Han swoop bike racing.
Mm.
This is canon. This is canon.
This
Ewok.
Steven, this is why you don't.
Actually, you know what? No, gotta go with the Ewok. No, actually, I'd go with the Wookiees because you know what? Getting your arm tripped off by a Wookiee, and if you're in
It's-
Star Wars, you can get new arms.
Actually, I don't think that it was Dengar that was canon, but I mean it is canon that Han Solo was a really good swoop bike racer. So
Gotcha.
I mean now I understand why
Well,
because
I
Han
mean,
Solo is one very talented with racing because one you see it in Solo with what he did with the
Solo, and then you get the line when he's flying the Falcon and Castle, and he's like, "I used to be a racer," and then I forget the guy's name, and he's like, "I forgot I did this." He
Oh,
died
yeah,
doing this trick, and then he does it.
Yeah.
in Solo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Needles.
Yeah,
was the
Needles
name.
did this
Yeah.
one time. He died trying, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I would say Wookiee because I can just get new arms. If I get eaten by Ewoks, like I'm dead. There's no moving on from that.
The smart thing is never gambling with either of these two Star Wars species.
Okay, but that's
especially
not.
with
You
with
can't.
furry
You gotta
monsters.
pick one. You gotta pick one or the other, Pat. You can't
And especially
diplomatic about
Chewbacca,
it.
he's an expert at Dejarik. We learned this in Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I'm definitely with Luke on here. Wookiee. I'll take a cyborg arm.
Yeah. If he rips my arm off, cool. I'd rather have that than Ewok. Oh my god. And there's, just the Ewok.
And then
hunt
you
is
start
just
hearing Yub Nub
scary.
in the creepiest tone
Yub
possible
Nub.
in the background.
Yup. They just go like
Yup,
lower
yup.
voices, and it's
Yep,
not cute
yup.
anymore. It's terrifying. No, No, thank you. I'm out. Char,
Yes.
got any more lore?
That was my question. It was just what would you bet at? What would you bet on and against who?
All
That,
right.
it's because Watch Atlantis bet against Yoda, and then Yoda just absolutely just sweeps her off the floor. Give me all your money. You must.
Give me your money.
You have.
No, now I'm just
Broke
I'm
you
just
are.
now I'm just imagining Yoda being into fantasy football.
Yes. Okay. Side question. Okay. All right. Prequel era. Everybody has a fantasy football team. Chat. Be involved. What would each of the council members' fantasy football teams name be?
Oh,
All 12?
No, not all 12. We'll go 4. We'll go 4 of them. I got one for Obi-Wan.
Okay, yeah. Each of you take one.
Okay, I'll take one. I got
You
Obi-Wan.
take Obi-Wan. Pat, who do you get? Who do you have?
I'll take Kit Fisto.
Hereth,
Ooh.
who do you have?
I'll go Kiadi Mundi.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. I'll go Mace Windu.
Okay. Obi-Wan, it's going to be obvious. The Negotiators. Crickets, it's okay. It was a bad one. It's all right. Chard.
I was gonna go with the Vicious Vapods.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Good one.
That's a really good one.
good one. Good one. Hereth.
Double the brain, double the power.
Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
Double the brain, double the stupidity.
Stupidity. Agreed. Agreed. I can't believe you just gave that stupid butthole of
Alright.
Clone Wars couldn't
Kit
controversy.
Fisto.
Okay, go ahead.
Love tentacles.
Is this appropriate for Padawans?
That answer is strictly Legends. Pat. You know
Pat.
it.
Hey, Brogaluga. Hey,
Pep, oh Jesus. Jesus Christ. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Voss, and Ahsoka, Danger Zone. Jesus. Oh my God. What was the prompt? The prompt is what would if the Jedi Council were in a fantasy football league, what would one of their teams names be?
I mean, I also feel like Anakin would name something off like a pod racer. Like F.U. Sebulba or something funny.
Ah,
I mean,
probably.
In terms of the Phantom Menace, Yariel Poof was a member on the Jedi Council. His teammate will be the Quirmian Quirks.
Oh my God. Jesus. All right. All right, Hereth. Now time for the interconnectedness.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Welcome into my segment called Interconnectedness, even though you guys see this a lot. So, unlike Path of the Jedi, there isn't really much interconnectedness outside of Lando. Obviously, as Luke said earlier with his question about if you could add original trilogy character in there, my character question's still slightly related, but kind of not. So, if this was your first ever introduction to Lando, how would you think it would serve your kind of interpretation of the character? Kind of like more of just a characterization type style of question.
Well, let's see. I see. Well, Lando's a lot more fun in this one. Like,
Yeah.
he's just living his best life, and I know it. Like, in the original, when he first came out and he first betrays, the gang and stuff, everyone villainized Lando. And I think if this is anyone's first introduction to Lando Calrissian, they'll just be in love with him from the get go. You know.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Because I mean, Lando is like, he's very like he ultimately does the right thing at the end of the day, in both this episode of Rebels and in Empire Strikes Back. Does he do scummy things to get to that end? Absolutely. But he ultimately makes the right decision.
And you can argue that in Empire Strikes Back, he was doing the right thing by the people he was in charge of. to
Yeah.
take care of. So it's
No,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't know if Vader was like going up to Lando and being like, "Hi, I'm going to toss every single member of Cloud City into the chamber process, and now you're gonna have to deal with me, or I'm going to
Yeah.
kill everyone in this entire city." What is Lando supposed to say? Oh, okay. I guess I'll just let everyone die because or they'll be like, "Hey, the Empire's going to come by and just nuke your entire city to the ground."
Yeah, that's very possible. He could have done that. But Char?
You see, Lando is an interesting thing to talk about. I mean, before I answer the question, Lando's fantasy football name will be the Bespin Badonkadonks. Ah, yes.
and Char, this is why you're one of my favorite people.
Hey, you're one of my favorite people too, Pat. I love you.
Oh,
But
man.
you see, Lando he's not very in this episode. He's not similar to the one way we see him in the original trilogy. Maybe a little bit with how he reunites with Han, where he's like, "Ha, how you doing, old buddy? So good to see you." But I think he's more serious in the original trilogy because in this episode he's very lax in a way. Because when he was playing with Zeb and Kanan, the galaxy, at least give me a region.
I mean, that tracks Char's name in fantasy this year.
The inner rim chads. Now that man,
No, you're the Western regions. You're the Western reaches preachers.
What the fuck? The inner.
well, yeah, Lando is not the same way as he was. You know what? I retired that. I retired the inner rim chads.
Oh my
Jesus fucking
God.
Christ.
We are now expanding to the outer rim chads.
Oh my God. That doesn't sound any better.
Char, I thought you first go outer rim, then inner rim.
Pat.
Jesus. Jesus Christ. This is what just expect this type
No,
of
my
like
team name will be
chaos.
the Legion of the Unknown Regions. Okay.
When does Pod Ones never get derailed? That's the real question.
No, just wait till the D&D.
Oh my God.
Oh
it's gonna be
no, yeah, no.
chaotic.
And I've played with the other folks that are going to be in
Oh,
it.
I can't-
and
I
let
can't-
me tell you, it's going to be
I can't.
Hey, oh
fucking
yeah, because Luke technically played
wild.
with us as well because Char and I were also playing
No,
with Luke in the D&D game.
Now I know that the Sith face is gonna be in there. Oh, I'm gonna make sure some cameos happen.
Oh God.
So Hondo Nakas. No, Hondo Naka. Jabba the Hutts would be the Hutt Space Hasselhoffs.
Jesus.
Because he's the opposite of David Hasselhoff.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
It's
All right,
perfect.
Char. You got your three
Anyway.
interesting facts?
I do. Why would you ask if I do? 'Cause I
All
always
right,
do.
here we go. Three interesting facts.
Three interesting facts about a certain Rebels arc that you didn't know about until now.
They was trying to stop you from
we
doing
hear that audio all the time, but we never heard the exact part. But yeah, today is going to be part 8 of my segment, which is, as you heard, the facts. Okay. Once again, all right.
You don't
Hold
have
on,
to
let me-
say it. You know what you should just say
What?
Part 8.
is part 8, and then the
Go in.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what you should do.
Sorry about that.
Okay. 3 interesting facts about a certain Rebels arc that you didn't know about until now. Part 8, Idiots Array Edition. Yeah, Luke, screw you. I'm not listening to you. Fact 1, the origin of Sabacc. The card game Sabacc first appeared in the script for The Empire Strikes Back. Though any mention of it was cut from the film, a trilogy of Lando Calrissian novels published in 1983 explained the mechanics of the card game. Fact 2, the origin of Asmorgan. Wow, that was a very good rhyme. What
That was
the
a
fuck?
hand fill.
Wow. That's on back. Wow. Asmorgan was based on an early Ralph McQuarrie design for Jabba the Hutt, developed for Return of the Jedi.
Can you
James Hong, a veteran actor, plays as Morgan. His role in Idiot's Array makes a return to Lucasfilm animation, as Hong can be heard as a Sugi arms dealer in unfinished episodes of the Clone Wars. He can be seen in such films such as Blade Runner and Big Trouble in Little China, and heard in Mulan and Kung Fu Panda. Fact
Oh yeah,
3.
so he's not the right. Sorry,
No,
we
I
had
was
made the
Yeah.
wrong guy. Go
Fact
ahead, sorry,
3.
sorry.
The designs for the cards seen in the show. In 1989, a playable set of Sabacc cards were included in a role-playing game module called Crisis on Cloud City. The designs for the cards seen in this episode were inspired by that set. And there you have it. Those are the 3 interesting facts about Idiot's Array.
What is with Star Wars going back to like the role playing games from the late?
Because
90s?
role-playing games are amazing, Hereth. Don't.
No, I'm just
don't-
saying because like there's so many interviews with Pablo Hidalgo or Sam where he's like, "Oh yeah, we got it from this like role playing game." Like, because like I remember like Palpatine was from a role playing game. Like that was it. Because remember, because it was just called the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, and they pulled
Yeah.
that for Coruscant was the first mention. It was in a role playing game before Timothy Zahn's novels. It's like they just pull stuff from role playing
It's
games.
world building. It's all world building. It's a great place.
No, I'm not denying it's a great place. I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you already heard a lot of
Absolutely.
interesting things, so enough of the interesting. We
Oh,
get into the
Jesus.
rankings of this episode. So, everyone in the chat, go ahead and give this either a ensign, a lieutenant, a captain, an admiral, or a grand admiral. We'll start with Pat. What do you think? Where do you give this episode for a ranking?
It's Lando. I'm gonna have to go Grand Admiral just for Lando.
Really? Okay. Okay.
It's fun.
Uh,
It's a good time.
nice. We go to Hereth. Hereth, where do you rank this episode?
I feel like it's a good captain. It's a fun episode. It's good. There's not a lot happening. You get fun stuff with the puffer pigs. You get Lando being a swindler. It is what it is. It's a good episode. It's fun.
Luke,
Lieutenant.
what do you?
Or as
Oh, Lieutenant.
Galadriel
Lieutenant.
says, or Lieutenant
Lieutenant.
Gorn, rest in peace, says.
Yeah. Lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
It's good. It's not great. It's one episode that I was like, okay, cool, sweet. I love Lando. That's great. But like everything else is just like meh. But yeah. That's the ranking.
Yeah.
What do we
if
give
you
it?
also, if you also cared about my ranking, I give it.
Oh,
a
yeah, I
lieutenant
forgot,
as well.
sorry.
I'll give it a lieutenant also.
I was
'Cause, I mean,
leaning towards
okay.
Lieutenant, but I was like,
Lando
Yeah.
does carry this episode a lot,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot that goes down except for what happens with As Morgan. I mean, it doesn't really.
but I
I
also
don't
I
know.
mean,
feel like
it's a goofy heist.
I feel like there's not also a lot of okay episodes in Rebels. I feel like I think the quality of Rebels is super consistent. That's why I just put it
Yeah.
good because
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of
Oh,
like
that's
Clone
fair.
Wars, where the first season is like a slow build up. There's not too many crazy episodes, but they're good. They're solid episodes that really get you into the characters and the
Yeah.
relationships that they build between them. But like,
And they're
this
not.
wasn't
And
really about that. This was about
Yeah.
Lando.
yeah, it's
and
not.
I have
it's not,
nothing against Lando, but like,
Yeah.
what were they trying to do? Other
No,
than
and it's definitely not like you can't call this a filler episode because a lot of these characters are seen in later seasons. Like they come back. We get reintroduced to them
it's the
again.
introduction of As
It's
Morgan
just
and
as Morgan. Lando comes back in season 3.
2. No, because remember when they
Oh,
get
that's
attacked by Vader,
right.
they're like, oh, we have to get someone to smuggle us out of here. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
and then Kanan and Ezra look at you, they're like, not him.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then they call it
right.
Lando, and Lando's like,
so, to sum up
like-
what happened, I mean, this is more than 2 sentences from before, but Lando wins a droid, and then he accepts a mission from Kanan, and then gives back the droid, and then they get money for As
No, they
Morgan to
get-
get
no, they-
Hera. Huh?
They don't get money. They get the pork. I mean, they get not the pork, but the puffer
puffer
pig.
pig, so they can sell it.
Puffer pig.
Yeah, and then they go back to Lothal, and then
Yep.
there you go. I mean, there's not much that happens. I mean, other than Lando's reintroduction, which was incredible. And
yeah.
everything that involves Lando Calrissian, I will watch 110,000%.
We also have to thank this episode for the puffer pig.
Yeah.
Anytime we get new Star Wars animals, it's good. It's good Star Wars.
And I know, like Billy D. Williams had came back for like the robot chicken sketches, and,
Oh.
a couple other stuff. So then, like, we also like compared to the other original trilogy characters in here, it's outside of James Earl
Leia.
Jones in season 2.
Leia, I
You
think
don't
I'm
get
about
the
to
ori-
mugged.
So you
Man,
didn't.
you.
So it's like you don't really get the original actors back most of the time outside of James Earl
Yeah.
Jones and Billy D. Williams, and Anthony Daniels. So it's like the fact that we're getting the original actors and more canon material. It's amazing because until Rise of Skywalker, we didn't get Billy D. Williams for a while.
No, yeah, absolutely. It was great to hear Billy D's voice. You
Yeah,
know,
of
you
course,
can
always.
he just there's nobody except for maybe Donald Glover that I would say plays Lando better than Billy D. Williams. No matter if he's voicing him, if he's doing or if he's playing him like he did in the sequel trilogy. Like nobody plays him. Like there's no other Lando except for Donald Glover. And I feel like Donald Glover does an amazing job as Lando because he has that swagger. You know that?
Mhm.
Like he walks into the room and he
I mean, because he's
demands
Donald
his
Glover, he's
presence.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, he's Childish Gambino as well. So yeah. But that is going to be the end of episode 67. Pat, where can the good people find you on the social medias?
I am on TikTok mostly as Saint Pat underscore Separatist Rebel, and then I am on the Twitter verse, and you can find me there as Saint Pat underscore of stars.
Also, you can check out his TikToks of him being Daemon Targaryen and also simping for Targaryens.
Yes. I'm currently building Dark Sister. Construction has begun.
Really?
Yeah, I'm making.
Are you
Dark
3D
Sister.
printing it?
No, foam.
Interesting.
And it's my own little mishmash of show, book, and official art.
Okay. You'll have to keep us updated on that.
Oh yeah.
Since we are technically now a Song of Ice and Fire channel and Lord of the Rings channel and also Star Wars, you know.
I've always said Star Wars last as we're covering Star Wars right now.
As our main focus is Star Wars.
Well, it's our main focus is Star Wars. It'll always be last because it's the most important.
Yes.
But yeah, well, yeah.
So
Hereth?
like when I say Luke, Hereth, and I, that means I'm, never mind.
No. That's the only time that doesn't
Because Luke,
work.
you're not as not good. Hereth, you got value. Me, I'm kidding.
You got the interesting facts.
I'm just being an idiot. Anyway.
Yeah.
I can bring up. I can bring up the art of it, of the design if you want to see it.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Hereth, where can the good people follow you?
You can find me. I feel like I do this every single day, but you can find me at Hereth Productions on TikTok, Instagram, Hereth_edits on Twitter, and you can find me here on the Podwans podcast. I feel like I can't say that too well because Char is going to say the exact same thing.
I say the same thing, but I do it with a little bit of a twist.
A little bit of a slight twist.
Okay, Char, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
Good people, you can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at CharCharJ, as spelled right here. And you can find me here at the Podwans podcast every Thursday night as we cover our Star Wars Rebels rewatch. Next week, catch us covering Season 1, Episode 12, Visions of Hope. And you can find us this Sunday or I'd say Monday, the Monday after, as we're going to be reacting to the finale of House of the Dragon Season 1.
Yes.
A little bit of a twist there, huh?
It's going to be wild. Bringing it all the way back to Song of Ice and Fire,
I was actually rewatching the Hot D episodes earlier. I was like,
yeah.
I miss Viserys.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. You guys can follow us at the Pod Ones Podcast on TikTok, the Pod Ones Pod on Instagram, and Pod Ones Podcast on Twitter. Yeah. Sorry. Brain fart.
End
the episode now.
Yeah. And that's a wrap.
I love how anytime I make a joke about boiling water, X-Core is just close to follow.
No, whenever he's in here, he has to make one reference to that.
Yeah.
Friends, you're never gonna live that down.
But again, thank you everybody that is subscribed to our channel. If you're new here, hello. We're the Pod Ones Podcast. We don't just react to stuff. We also do content, and it'd be great if you guys could go follow us on all of our other platforms. And for the new people, thank you for giving us the chance to be your entertainment to get away from the real world for a little while. We're gonna have some other big announcements coming soon.
Pretty much.
I will say we will be rolling out Song of Ice and Fire content after House of the Dragon. It will be we'll do probably a review of both Rings and House of the Dragon, season 1, both of them. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple of weeks. But we'll be diving to me and Hereth and Char if he wants to join in. We'll be covering Fire and Blood. So we'll be doing breakdowns of where we're at in the book, doing
If you
long
need
videos.
If you need
Yeah.
someone to simp over Visenya Targaryen.
No, yeah. We're gonna talk about Aegon's conquest.
We're gonna
So
go through everything, and then we're probably gonna talk about the dance and what we think is gonna happen in season
dance,
2,
yes.
and how the showrunners may adapt certain things.
And we will have a third co-host on that, but I am not going to reveal that just yet. So I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. But you will hear from them very, very soon. And then me and Grandmaster Bale will be covering the Silmarillion. I am getting my first ever copy of the Silmarillion. I've read it 8 or 9. No, I've read it like 4 times. I've listened to it 4 times. I've never had an actual copy. I have the illustrated. I'm getting the illustrated. I get maps. I get pictures. So it's going to help me because I can read. I promise you, I can read. It just helps me with pictures.
I mean,
Luke is
it's
what-
just
what-
the
Luke-
Where
Look,
is
is what
Alanis
we
in the
like to
chat
call.
to counteract that?
Oh, don't worry. She's probably one of the 9 in here. Oh, 9 rings to men doomed to die.
Oh yeah.
Good
Make
call,
sure you
good
guys
call.
go like
Whoa.
their stream, okay? Make sure you guys
Yeah.
are giving.
Yeah,
I-
like
this
the
is-
stream. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. For those Twitch viewers, go ahead and drop a follow. We'd really appreciate that.
Also, that's
I love
cue
all
to
of your
listen
support.
to What's in the Shadows from Rings of Power, because that song slaps hard.
Oh yeah, it does. It's so good. But that's gonna be it. On to the next one, for Light and for Life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you.
Always. Don't talk about me
Always.
burning water.